Every city has a shadow, a version of itself that exists only after midnight, when the markets close, the children sleep, and the rules of the daylight world no longer apply. This story begins in that shadow, and it ends there, too. His name was Marcus Rivera, born 1987. No father, a mother who worked herself to exhaustion, and a city that had already decided what kind of life he would live. Marcus never accepted that decision. By 16, Marcus was running errands for the local gang. Small packages, small money, but for a boy with nothing, it felt like everything. The old man they called El Maestro saw something in Marcus that others missed: intelligence, patience, hunger. Most people in that world acted on impulse. Marcus acted on information. He studied supply routes like a student studies textbooks. He memorized faces, mapped territories, understood cash flow. He was building a business, he just didn't have a name for it yet. By 25, Marcus had done what no one before him had managed. He had organized the chaos. He gave it rules. He gave it structure. He called it simply the firm. And within 3 years, the firm controlled 60% of the underground economy. Not through luck, through cold, calculated intelligence. Power came with a cost Marcus hadn't fully calculated. Every decision he made, someone paid for it. Corrupt officials, frightened families, men who followed orders they wished they didn't have to follow. The city feared the firm, and Marcus began to understand that fear and respect are very different things. But in the middle of all this, there was Elena, his younger sister. She was studying to become a doctor. She knew her brother was involved in something dark. She chose not to ask, but she felt it, in the silence at dinner tables, in the way he looked at her, like he was protecting her from something he himself had become. His name was Victor Draws, an international crime lord who had built his network across 3 continents. Victor didn't negotiate, he didn't knock on doors, he sent messages written in violence. 3 of Marcus's trucks ambushed in one night, and a note left behind that said only 2 words: "Step aside." Marcus received the call at 2 a.m. He listened, said nothing, hung up. His man expected an explosion. Instead, he folded the note carefully, placed it in his jacket pocket, and said in a calm voice, "Find out everything about Victor Draws. Everything." Marcus set a trap. 5 false pieces of information, 5 different men. He waited. Within 48 hours, one of those false pieces reached Victor. The traitor was Danny Reeves. 6 years of loyalty, ended by fear, by a photo of his daughter outside her school. Danny said, "He threatened my daughter. I had no choice." Marcus was silent for a long time. Then he said, "You should have come to me." Danny whispered, "I was scared," and Marcus replied, "So was I, every single day." Detective Cole had been building her case for 2 years, methodically, patiently, the way a spider builds a web. She had financial records, surveillance footage, and one terrified witness willing to testify. She also had a personal reason: a childhood friend lost at 22, another statistic swallowed by the world Marcus had built. Victor moved fast, supply lines disrupted, men arrested in raids too precise to be coincidence. The city's balance was shifting. Every day, Victor gained more ground, and Marcus felt, for the first time in years, something he thought he had left behind in that dark alley: fear. Elena came to him one last time. She had a residency offer, another city, a real life waiting for her. She asked him to come. He looked at his hands, the hands that built an empire, and said the only word he could manage: "Not yet." She nodded. She had expected that answer, but it still broke something between them. Thursday night, cold. 3 worlds were moving toward the same point without knowing it. Marcus, heading to end a war.
Victor expecting to win one, and Detective Sarah Cole tracking Victor's convoy for the past 3 days, following it straight into the dark. Marcus faced Victor in the center of that warehouse with nothing but the truth between them. Victor reached for his weapon, the air exploded, and then the doors crashed open, lights everywhere, tactical units. The police had followed Victor's convoy directly into the trap neither of them had seen coming. Victor tried to run. He made it 12 feet. Marcus didn't run. He stood still. He looked around at everything he had spent 15 years building, now collapsing in flashing blue and red lights, and then he raised his hands, slowly, deliberately, above his head. Marcus Rivera was convicted on 43 charges, 25 years. The firm collapsed within months. Without his intelligence at the center, it had nothing holding it together. Victor Draws faced international prosecution, and Detective Sarah Cole finally received the promotion that had been denied to her twice before. The city still has 2 faces, it always will, but sometimes, just sometimes, the darkness breaks, not because the system fixed itself, but because the choices we make in the dark follow us into every light. Marcus built an empire and called it freedom, but real freedom, he finally understood, looks nothing like power. This is life.